Well, now let me explain how you could use, or the steps you should follow to create patterns, to use them, and to use Six Sigma philosophy with them. So, well, the first thing you can do when you are working with product patterns is to generate a standard, what we call standard product patterns, which comes from the existing literature in software engineering. So what you can do is to elicit the knowledge from the existing, as I said, literature. And once you have done it, you may want to create your own patterns from your organization. So in this case, what you have to do is to elicit the knowledge from the organizations and and create your own patterns. These patterns will be in the specific product pattern database. And this database could be private for the organization. Next, what you usually do is to create your Gantt chart with your activities related. And then what you do is to select a process model. You can select an existing process model, or maybe you would like to customize it. Or even you may want to create your own process model from the scratch. So when you have all this information on and you have your patterns created, what you do is to search patterns that matches with your activities in your Gantt chart. And this is the step related with this activity. Next, what you do is to instantiate these product patterns. You relate these product patterns with your activities. And next, you may want to create what we call the active process guide, which in this case is implemented with a wiki. So it can be accessed through the internet and it's accessible for all the team involved in the project. The next thing you do is that you execute your project, and while you're executing it and using your product patterns, you may want to measure and control the quality of some or all the patterns, the products you produce with your patterns. Well, regarding this measurement, you should follow these steps that appears in the slide. So let me explain them using an example. Well, the first thing that you have to do is to identify the product you want to control. Let's suppose that we choose the use case diagram for this example. Next, what you have to do is to define the objective for this product. And in this case, what we want is that every requirement must be referenced at least in one use case. The next thing you have to do is to identify the quality parameter to be controlled. And in this case, the selected parameter is requirements traceability. Well, now I have to ask myself, is a formal process defined to produce this product, this use case diagram? If the answer is no, what you do is to use Design for Six Sigma to define a formal process for the selected product. But in software engineering, we normally know how to produce the products we do. So here the answer is yes, we know how to produce use case diagram. And now the question is a measurement mechanism incorporated into the process? And then I go to my product pattern and I see that I don't have any information regarding the gathering of the measurement data. So then I have to apply this step and use Design for Six Sigma to redefine the process, including a measurement mechanism. In this case, we identified the next variables to be gathered along the production of the use case diagram, which are the development time, the number of system requirements referenced by use case, the number of analysts, the experience of the analyst, and the traceability matrix, which relates requirements versus use cases. And next, I obtain my product, my use case diagram, and I have to analyze the data obtained. Let me explain this branch of the graph, because what happens if it is true that you have measurement mechanism incorporated in your process? That could be this case. And then I have to ask myself, if these measures are consistent with the objective I identified for this product. And once I'm sure, then I come here to analyze them. Because sometimes what happens in software is that we have the measures, but they are not consistent with the objective you state. Now, let's see how this analysis could work. So we have developed the use cases diagram, and now what we want to do is to take data to analyze the data obtained. Let's suppose we developed 9 projects, and we have the data of the number of missed requirements. And well, with this data, I can't decide what to do. I only know that in the first project I missed 2 requirements, in the second 1, in the third 5, but I don't know, I can't decide anything because I don't have more information. So, following Six Sigma philosophy and following the identified variables here that appear here, we can compare the number of requirements missed, which appears here, with the capability, which is reflected here, of the analyst that made this product. And using 1 for senior and 0 for junior, we can see that there is a relation between juniors and a low value for requirements missed, and seniors and a high value for requirements missed. So now I can make a decision with more information.